Rhythm Doctor is a game that has been in development for a while, starting as far back as 2011 according to the devs. The game's first public appearance was in 2016, with a real demo released on Steam in 2020. I first played it in 2021 with the release of their full early access, which sounds like an oxymoron. Either way, while I enjoyed what I played of the first 4 acts, I promptly forgot about it for about 4 years till it popped up on my timeline saying it was releasing next month. Picking the game back up again, I felt a bit strange about it, as between its initial release and now, I'd become far more engrossed in the rhythm game scene, to say the least, and wasn't sure how they turn a single-player story game into a rhythm game. Rhythm Doctor is a deceptively simple game. There's just one button. Slamming the spacebar in the 7th beat of each song is all there is to it. But why are you slamming and potentially breaking your spacebar? Why, to save the lives of individuals with mental and physical health issues, of course. It's in the name, after all. You are a part of a new internship at Middlesea Hospital under their new Rhythm program. Playing as a faceless, soundless intern, hitting the big red button on time with music helps patients in their recovery. While the Rhythm program itself is designed specifically for physical issues, you still have to talk to the patients, or at least the doctors will. Both Ian and Paige are the only 2 on-staff doctors at this hospital, as they struggle to manage a brand new intern, the hospital itself, and, oh yeah, the very lives of dozens of patients. They're the closest thing the story has to main characters, but they're far from the only characters. Basically, every patient you meet in the game has their own story that you follow throughout each act. From Cole, the coffee-addicted musician struggling to find his voice, or the Stevensons, an older couple trying to find each other during their stay here. Each of the characters has a depressing, yet relatable story that, while usually ending well, never has some kind of magical ending where they get everything they wanted. But how do you get to the story? Well, by actually playing the game. While my early description of the gameplay was accurate, it's the equivalent of saying DDR is just stepping on the notes, or Taiko is easy since it's just 2 notes, or that Ongeki doesn't deserve an official US release. It's true, man, but like, come on, you don't gotta say it. Each of the tracks introduces their own gimmick, from swing beats that make you hit the notes at awkward times, to skipped beats and frozen ones that delay the note actually being hit. None of these beats break the established rule of just having one button. These are all done to make you feel overwhelmed. When the ice beats come in and you've got to find the timing only for there to be immediate rapid 1, 2, 3 coming in, it keeps you on your toes and questioning if you even heard the nurse right. Taking you from the Rhythm Heaven series along with ITG sight reading charts, a lot of the challenge comes from the visuals. Distorted lighting, zoom in, glitch effects, and even some fourth wall breaking sound effects. Basically anything to make you feel, again, overwhelmed. And to be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of sight reading effects in rhythm games. I always liked being tested on my physical dexterity in a rhythm game. Can I perform a proper twist? Are my arms arranged in such a way that I actually hit all the notes? Will I ever get to play Ongeki again? These are the questions I like my rhythm games to throw at me, not, okay, buddy, solve this math equation while you figure out where the actual beat is, and also there's a bunch of sound effects while you
get out on the dance floor!
But that doesn't mean I don't get it. People were yelling at Nintendo for a new Rhythm Heaven game for years. This is a system that clearly works, it's just not a me thing. But you know what is a me thing? The soundtrack. Of course a rhythm game has good music. I mean, a rhythm game without good music is like a sandwich without anything in the middle. Okay, Bryn, we get it. But yeah, the music comes from a variety of musicians, all of whom are credited at the beginning of each song with links to their Twitter or SoundCloud, which is really nice to see. But yeah, how good is the soundtrack?
Is it all in my head? While I roll in my bed, I must show her where I stand. Are you a boy or a man?
Oh my god. This soundtrack is phenomenal! Every song matches the story so well and just sounds amazing on its own. There isn't even a set style for the music, so it all comes from whatever the musician wanted to pull from. It's amazing! But combining the music and the gameplay gave me a weird feeling. I felt something I didn't expect when playing Rhythm Doctor. I got mad. Getting upset at a game is a normal feeling. Sometimes things are hard, and you get a little frustrated. Rhythm Doctor felt different, though. It's a very strange game to play with all these mind-bending charts and 1,000 little things to keep in mind. When playing, that feeling of being overwhelmed hits, and it hits hard. It makes missing any note feel 10 times as soul-crushing because you know some other junk is about to fly down the EKG and just mess you up again, and eventually, you fail. It happens to everyone, no one is perfect at a song at their first try, you were bound to mess up. And yeah, I did. A lot. And I always wanted to deflect. I can't find the beat because you're asking me to do it on top of all these swing parts. Why end with a skip beat if you're about to just change the rhythm? I got so frustrated after each miss. Like the game itself designed the chart specifically to mess me up. Find out what I suck at and break me. Make me feel like the moron when they're the ones not cooperating. Why are you asking me to do all of this junk? Don't you want me to actually clear the chart? But eventually, after everything, you win. And your reward, after every unfair beat, missed swing, whatever, you get to see the person you helped. And that feeling is one of the strongest rewards a game has ever given me. Difficulty is the main way games stop you from getting a reward. If you can't clear this challenge, you don't get the treasure, the EXP, the souls, the whatever. It's how games are made. But usually, these are selfish rewards. You're doing them to better yourself, or even worse, you're taking someone down in the process. Games very rarely have the reward be so selfless. You're helping someone, saving a life, the most precious thing we have. And in that moment, you forget about everything. Who cares about the chart anymore? Someone is getting better. Soon they can be discharged and live their life. It's beautiful. For a moment. And you see the next song, and it all starts over again. There's one song I'd like to point out that illustrates this best. My favorite song in the game, One Shift More. And there was some steep competition for this slot. With so many amazing songs, I could really never fault you for picking Wish I Could Care, Dreams Don't Stop, Puff Piece, Something to Tell You, or what is probably the best song, Lucky's Break, which I still cry to. Actually, I wouldn't fault you for putting anything from Act 5 in here, but either way, One Shift More is the perfect encapsulation of what makes Rhythm Doctor so special. The chart begins with Paige, one of the doctors at Mintlesey, asking you to watch over her heartbeat since she's hurting due to how long her shift has been. The song immediately hits you with the main conflict of Paige as a character. She's exhausted, tired, dead tired, but she still has people to help. The song does this really cool thing where the sounds of her pager are tied to the sounds of heartbeat. It shows really well how high the stakes for her job are. When that pager beeps, it's not just to do more paperwork, it's to talk to someone to help them get better. Her job is the heart, it's what calls her. When she makes it to the patient's room, she talks to him, asking him how he's doing because while yes, she is the doctor, the rhythm program works at dealing with all physical pain, not mental. She knows how important it is to have a human to talk to and actually explain what is wrong, how nice it is for someone to sound happy when delivering good news. That's not something hitting the big red button can replace, nor can it replace her. This means she's needed elsewhere as her pager beeps off again.
Oh dear, there my pager goes again.
Trying to leave, she begs for strength, not so she can rest, but so she can continue her work. That's what matters most to her right now. It's making it down that hall to see what's wrong with another person. Unfortunately, all the stress is getting to her as she yells at Mr. Stevenson for just trying to move on. All while a politician who you saved last song makes his grand speech about how we need to stop trusting doctors because they drive around. All of this noise and confusion creates that overwhelming effect I mentioned before, but not just for the player as they deal with essentially 4 heartbeats, but also for Paige. When all this gets to her, she lets out the saddest thought she can think of. And I mean, yeah, why should she have? If no one is going to listen to her and let her move on, if the people she saved are going to try and tear her down, what's the point? Even the song feeds into this by ending it with Paige singing about all the things she's missed, and it hits really hard. Her life is being spent helping the unthankful, losing herself in the process. But I know, there's nowhere else Paige would rather be. Yes, she's angry, tired, annoyed, every bad adjective you can think of. But that doesn't matter. the patients need help. Even the chart isn't for Paige, it's for Mr. Stevenson, because the patient comes first. After all.
But they've been waiting for so long.
It's stuff like this that mixes gameplay and music together to create a beautiful harmony and tell an even grander story than just gameplay alone can tell. Unfortunately, that doesn't always hit. Warning for spoilers of Acts 4 and 6. I didn't put anything for Paige because the first 3 acts go by in like 2 hours at most. These acts basically do everything the first 3 acts did, but worse somehow. Their conflict is really weak, not really concluding anything or providing any real interesting character moments. In fact, the main conflict of Act 4, that being the will they won't they of Haley and Logan, doesn't get concluded until the beginning of Act 6. And then the rest of the act is just about some other character. It's like, what? It really doesn't make any sense and kills how strong their respective previous acts were. While the acts keep within the selfless reward structure of the rest of the game, they just end so blankly that I really just don't care. Also, their gimmicks suck. I know I said I wasn't a fan of sight reading already, but wow, these are so unfun and annoying that they really killed my flow. The main gimmick of Act 4's final level is that the patient, a samurai with insomnia who you treated in the first act, has come back because his condition has gotten worse. I don't know how insomnia can get worse than I can't fall asleep, but I digress. The gimmick is that you hit the button on an early 7th beat, so instead of going 1, 2, 3, 4, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. All the difficulty comes from the visual and sound effects, which are really boring. It's just not the fun mix of gameplay and story that I expected from this game coming from the previous acts. I was really disappointed after playing these. And Act 6, oh my god! Not only does it break the selfless story of the rest of the game, which does get fixed, but feels awful in the moment, the gimmick is that you hit this guy's beat on the 5th instead of the 7th. That's it. And yes, I understand there's a proper story reason for this, because he's pushed himself so hard and suffers heart issues because of that. Doesn't make it any more fun. His boss chart sucks, I hate the split rows, and the fast section is impossible to follow. Also, there's no healing in this game, which to non-rhythm game players sounds stupid, I know. Typically in rhythm games, your ability to clear a chart is based on keeping a life bar full. Missing notes, dropping holds, not letting go after a hold, all of these decrease your life, and Rhythm Doctor follows these principles, yes, but ignores the healing from actually hitting notes and generating a combo. I don't see why this is the case. I honestly think it's a bit too punishing. I know you'll just be screaming skill issue as I explain this, and yeah, fair enough, this is a me thing, I get it, but that shouldn't take away from just how weak these acts feel. I only stuck with the game by this point because I knew they could make a good story. Heck, one of my favorite songs is the first of Act 6, and Act 7 is once again a really great story, even if the final song is a bit messy. No game has given me such joy from clearing a level like this one has, nor has it given me such anxiety from clearing each of the charts. As a rhythm game, it's not entirely my jam. As I explained, I'm more into arcade rhythm games. It's okay, we all have our character flaws. But as a story and as a game, I highly recommend it to anyone interested in trying rhythm games, or just wanting a feel-good story. The game has plenty of accessibility features if you're not exactly comfortable with rhythm games. Also, it's like $20, it's probably even cheaper because of Steam sales. I'm sure you can find something in it, or in the workshop. Oh yeah, there's an entire part of the game I didn't mention, the custom tracks. It's awesome! Play the game!
File new, staring nothing for an hour or two. Dropping a beat like 100 other artists would do. Clicking some chords like 100 other artists could do. Like, probably gonna hit that don't save changes again. Used to write a song